Hello, this is Kathy Dise with BudgetEase. Last week I published a blog on why a bank reconciliation makes you more profitable. You can find this blog at www.budgetease.biz/blog. I covered in the blog how important it is to do bank reconciliations on all your checking accounts and credit cards. Every week a business contacts BudgetEase because their financial information is incorrect. One of the first things that we do is reconcile all the bank and credit card statements. Now today we're going to learn how to do a bank reconciliation correctly. Here in QuickBooks Online there are two ways to get to the reconciliation tool. Either at the bank register where it says reconcile, or anytime at this gear in the top right corner you can hit reconcile. We're going to reconcile the checking account. All you need is the bank statement. In our situation, we're going to reconcile August 31st, and the bank statement says that the balance is $4,035.76. Then, using the bank statement, you check off every transaction that's listed there. In this situation, this payment wasn't covered in the bank statement, so it must have happened in the last month. I'm going to click the rest of the items on the statement, and I notice that there's a difference of $89.09. And actually on the bank statement I see that there's a debit on August 10th for $89.09. So let's add that right now. It appears that Tanya's nursery on 8/10 had a debit. It was for plants and soil. And 9 cents. So we're going to save this and close. And we're brought back to the bank reconciliation. Once we click that, down here at the bottom, the difference equals 0. And that's what we're looking for. Here's a couple extra tips on bank reconciliations. Most of the bank reconciliations at companies have a lot more than 10 transactions. So what we do is we take it one piece at a time. We might double check, enter the deposits, and then make sure that the amount of the deposits equals the amount on the bank statements. And then we might just do the debit transactions and not the checks, and see if that is the amount here on the reconciliation total. Often we find that the mistake has to do with the information that we entered. So we go back and we edit. Let's say, for example, the ending balance we put in was off slightly. Down here at edit the information from the statement allows us to go back and make that change. So once the difference is 0, we're finished. And we can see our ending balance is correct. On occasion, we'll notice when we start a bank reconciliation that the beginning balance on the statement doesn't agree with the amount in QuickBooks. And in that situation, something happened to a transaction that had previously been reconciled. Either it was deleted or the amount changed. And since it was reconciled and it was for the correct amount at that time, usually you can find the change and correct it. But it'll say right here if there were any changes after the bank reconciliation, so you can track that down. Once your bank reconciliations are done, one thing I always like to do and recommend is that you go back to your register and then click here to see any unreconciled transactions that occurred prior to the bank statement. So we reconciled through August 31st, and we just have two transactions. They're both dated at the end of August. Those transactions are probably fine. But let's say we do this and we find that there is a transaction from April of 2016. Well, now's the time to investigate that. Is that a duplicate entry, or possibly did we enter the wrong amount, and then when we brought the amount in a second time we put it in for the correct amount? Go back and figure that out now. And if it's a duplicate, as long as it's the same year, we can delete that right now. So this is Kathy Dise with BudgetEase, and if you have any questions on how to complete a bank reconciliation or how to make you more profitable, please contact me at Kathy@budgetease.biz. Thanks for joining us today.